If you're visiting Granada for the first time, you will want to choose the best possible area to stay. The city is quite small, but not all of the touristy areas make good lodging options. And here's our basic advice. Avoid the hills, which are found in many of the city's neighborhoods. Your legs will thank you. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello, welcome to the channel where we want you to be happier traveling around the Iberian Peninsula with the help of our travel tips and of our self-guided walking tours. In today's video, we're going to share our favorite places to stay in Granada, the ones we would avoid, and also give you some recommendations for accommodation in each of those neighborhoods. Let's see on the map the location of the main tourist attractions in Granada. We haven't placed all of them because some, such as the Cartuja or the Abadía del Sacromonte, are outside the map, but most of them are inside the map. They are basically located around three axes: the top of the hill where the Alhambra is, the center, and the Albaicín neighborhood. These axes have an important peculiarity. While the center around the cathedral is flat without slopes, ascents or descents, the Alhambra is on top of a hill and the Albaicín extends over a neighboring hill. Two hills full of slopes. Because of this geographical feature, to go from the Albaicín to the Alhambra, you have to go down to the center and up to the Alhambra, and vice versa. It's not the end of the world, but it takes time. Let's move on to the details of the neighborhoods. We have two big favorites for staying in Granada. The first is the city center, especially the area closest to the cathedral. Besides being a very pleasant area, without hills and with several of the most important attractions of the city, it is perfect from the point of view of the logistics of your stay in Granada. The bus that goes up to the Alhambra leaves from very close by. The bus going up to the Albaicín neighborhood leaves from Plaza Nueva, which is also very close. And the bus to the train station also passes through the center. The center is a very lively area of the city, full of historic buildings and pleasant little squares connected by narrow streets. There are also numerous bars and restaurants. For each area, we are going to share several accommodation suggestions, which you will now see on the screen in different price ranges: budget, mid-priced, and luxury. We'll put the links to those hotels so you can check out more details in the first comment below the video. Realejo is our second favorite neighborhood to stay in Granada. It is right next to the historic center. Despite not having many attractions, it is a neighborhood that shares with the historic center the logistical advantages of being very well connected to the Alhambra, the Albaicín, and the train station. In its narrow streets, there are many bars and restaurants, and the only care you have to take when choosing is not to stray too far from the center. There are steep streets in the higher parts of the neighborhood. You will see now on the screen a selection of accommodation options in the neighborhood that, depending on the time of the year, can be a little cheaper than those in the neighboring center. Some people prefer to stay in or near the Alhambra. The advantage is obvious. You have easy access to the monument. The disadvantage is that the options are limited, the prices are high, and to visit the center, and especially the Albaicín, you will waste time going back and forth. On the map, you will see two options within the Alhambra complex, including a Parador Nacional, and two high-end options near the monument. The last area of Granada we're going to talk about is the magnificent neighborhood of the Albaicín, an urban ensemble of white houses and narrow streets declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. The Albaicín is a fantastic neighborhood, and anyone who doesn't spend at least a day exploring it doesn't know what they are missing, from Hispano-Muslim monuments to incredible viewpoints and a great vibe. However, staying there has two disadvantages. The first is similar to what happens in the Alhambra. You will lose time going back and forth to other parts of Granada. And keep in mind that public transportation is very limited and does not reach all parts of the neighborhood. And the second, even bigger disadvantage is that the neighborhood is on a hill with many steep climbs, and if you don't do your research on where to stay, you may end up doing a lot of unwanted physical exercise during your stay in Granada. If you have any mobility restrictions, be very careful before choosing accommodation in the Albaicín. Take a look at the map now to see some of the accommodation options in the Albaicín neighborhood. Although there are no luxury hotels, prices can be higher than in other areas of Granada. And that concludes our tips on accommodation in Granada. Are there interesting accommodations outside of the areas mentioned above? Yes, but you have to be very sure of the location to avoid choosing a place that it is too far away and ends up making your stay in Granada much less productive. Have you found an accommodation option that fits what you're looking for? Leave your question for us in the commentary box and we will be happy to try to help you. On the screen you will see now the list of videos dedicated to Andalusia we have already published on the channel, with plenty of useful tips and information for the perfect trip to a region we simply love. We're waiting for you on those videos.